What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Combat Corner, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. I'm your host, Rudy Rodriguez Show Mott. Before we start, like the video, leave a comment, let me know your thoughts on the content, and of course, share all the content that we're popping off here. We are talking to many BKFC fighters and love what we're doing and continue to promote the sport. Today, I have a guest. There's been some stuff that's popped off in the past week. Alberto Blas, the former champion of BKFC at 135, he was dismissed from the BKFC, stripped of the belt, and moved over to BKB, BYB, whatever it is. I think it's a combination. And so anyhow, he's over there now. There was a statement dropped by Alberto Blas and his team, and it was in reference to the reasons for why he claims he was released. And since then, I have come across a video. If you hadn't seen it yet, I did a video on the Blas situation because I was standing right there when it happened. I just didn't know who the person that was involved in their side was. And it turns out there's a video on this, which we will play. But I bring to you Markus Suarez. He is the person that was on the opposite side of this situation here with Alberto Blas. Markus, welcome aboard, my friend. Thank you for jumping on with us today. Man, let's just jump on into it, man. Can you go back to that day and what happened and why you think this happened, or how did this all come about? What is your relationship with Blas, his team? You care to dive in on that?
These are things that happen, man. You know what I mean? Heat of the moment, you know what I'm saying? Men do men stuff, you know what I'm saying? And I can't control everything that happens, you know. I can't control what was said, and things were said back and forth. But we do live in a country where you can say whatever you want, you know. You just can't lay your hands on anybody, and then it happened. It is what it is, you know. It's hard to relive that moment because it happened so fast. It was such a quick moment, such a fast moment, and a lot of transpired in that moment. So it's hard to relive it.
Was there something that came in? Was there a beef before that, or was this just something that popped off in the hallway?
I can't get too much into the details, man. You know, I just know that I was Bam Bam. I was, and that night I was Bam Bam's corner, Sean Hodesing, and there was, you know, in between camps, you know, there was a lot of in betweens between Bam's camp and Indio's camp and Gallo's camp, and a lot of guys that were in the same gym together. And I so happened to get caught in the middle of it, you know, just because I was helping somebody out, and I was caught leaving the locker room, you know what I'm saying, with my bags and everything, and I just so happened to get caught.
So I'm gonna bring up the video here of the incident in question. So here's the video from the night in question. I'm just going to replay it so people can see what we're talking about. In my video, I talked about what I saw because I was standing in the hallway right behind Mish, and you'll see him in the video. He's the bald guy on the right-hand side in the doorway, and I was literally right behind him, and I saw the entire thing pop off, and I was just, what the hell just happened here? You know, you don't expect this to happen backstage in the hallway, but here's the video, folks.
Whatever over there, man. Hey. Calm down, Baldy. Calm down, Baldy. Hey, No, I'm golden, bro.
Okay, bring it back up here. So you see the video there. Obviously, it's just regular trash talk, but to me, They threw the one guy throws a bottle. Like
That was the guy who I
coach.
was talking to. That was the guy. That's what I was saying. Calm down, Baldy. And at that moment, you see my face of confusion. And as I noticed the guy recording, when I noticed who he was, I'm like, okay, well, it's my time to sell a fight. You know what I'm saying? It's my time to know who Merc is. And I said, fuck all you motherfuckers. Yeah, fuck all you guys. Calm down, Baldy. But again, I ain't going to be the bitch. I you know what I'm saying? It was 5-1. At the end of the day, I had to survive. You know what I mean?
Did you get from that incident? Like I said, folks, I was standing right there again. I heard things that took place after the fact. I had heard that there were issues with Blas, that there was a banning at the Hard Rock, and then other things that have come up that
I can't say he was released because of this. You know what I'm saying?
No, there was criminal stuff, but there was criminal stuff that I've seen since from a 2022 incident with Yoel Romero, from what I've heard from multiple people. Now that situation, you're at a fight, you get jumped by 5, 6 guys, kicking, stomping. Did you get injured from this incident? Is that dates back to September of last year?
Okay, let's just say it got more enhanced. You know what I'm saying? I had my torn rotator cuff for a minute, but I was hot. I was, you know what I'm saying? It was warm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Since that incident, I got cold shoulder. And I had to get it fixed because there was no way I was able to fight. Even my trainers were like, "You can't fight like that." So it got to a point where it got worse because of that incident.
You said cold shoulder. What's cold shoulder? Can
Not,
you tell me?
not using it. Not using it. Not using it.
So you couldn't lift your arm up. It was. Was it hurt when this incident happened?
Many things happen. And just to say that I had to get it fixed regardless. Whether this incident happened or not, I had to get the shoulder fixed.
So it was already hurting when that happened. When that situation happened, you were already hurt.
Yeah, I was hurt.
Okay, all right. So what has gone on since then? I mean, Blas had not fought. He gets released last week. I see the video. I saw this video on Mike and Mish, Mission Accomplished, Mike and Mish show. And clearly it was exactly the way I remembered it. My wife happened to be standing right behind the doorway where she almost got run over by the whole situation. She was right behind the doorway where, and
my daughter was right there next to her.
Really? Wow. Then your daughter was right next to my wife, because my wife is about 5 foot tall, and she was standing right there, and the police damn near ran her over, right there at the doorway. What's been going on in terms of, you haven't been able to fight because you're injured? What is your healing time right now at this point? When do you think you'll be back able to actually compete again?
Right. I was supposed to fight May 10th. I was supposed to fight May 10th in Utah against Mike Jones. Again, I went into training camp and I tried to give it my all, and there was just no way that I was going to waste an opportunity given to me and fight with one arm that I couldn't use. So I had to opt out and go for shoulder surgery. And we got it fixed. We're gonna be out at least 4 to 6 months. That's the minimum recovery time, and at least to get back in fighting shape another 3 months. So I would say by March. By March of next year we'll be ready to go. Okay. So
why
mentally? It's a mental patience. You know what I'm saying? This is mentally testing you.
So why haven't you spoken about this publicly? At all, with the, why haven't you spoken about this at all publicly since then?
I'm a private guy. You know what I'm saying? People that know me, they know I don't like to post my information like that on social media. So the people that knew what happened. People that don't know what happened, I wasn't going to explain this what happened, this what happened. No, it was just. It is what it is. It's things that happen, and things that happen to fighters, and it just so happened to happen in the Hard Rock. That's the bad part.
Mm-hmm. Have you had anything legal dealing with Blas and his camp, like on a personal injury level?
I can't injuries.
Okay,
I can't speak on that.
Okay. So in terms of what is your relationship now with the BKFC? Are you good with the BKFC? Are they going to bring you back to fight once you're healthy?
I'm still in contract. I'm still in the contract with the BKFC. I believe I have 2 more fights with them. They're waiting for me to heal up and recover so I can give me my fights. And that's what I was last told.
What are your thoughts when you saw the statement that was released by Blas's team last week? What went through your mind, and did that get you where you were on? Because I know I saw you post that on the Mission account, Mike and Mish, on that video. Is that what kind of set you off? Like, yo, this is some bullshit. Because he says you followed him around the building, that like all that's is any of that true?
The proof is in the pudding. You can't lie on video. You know what I'm saying? After that incident happened, I wasn't able. I was actually escorted outside the casino. So I went home. So nobody was following anything. Nobody was threatening nobody. So yeah, the statement was BS. And the Mike and Mish, they threw out the video because that statement was put out. Supposedly that video was never supposed to see the light of day. And when they saw the statement, they made the choice of releasing the video and making a show on it.
And how did you? What did you feel when you saw that statement? You're like, what went through your mind at that moment? Because you're like, yo,
again,
I live this. This is not remotely close to what happened.
Of course not, But again, I'm not gonna bark back. Again, the proof is there. I don't have to tell people what happened. It's just there. I'm just trying to clear my name and make sure that my bridges are not burned, and make sure that wherever I go, I act professional, in a professional way, and never would I disrespect any company or any casino or any event, any venue to hurt the company, because that's just not who I am. And if anybody knows who I am, I do work with the community. I work. I help fighters' character development. Clean up the image. Don't post this. Don't post that. So I when it comes to professionalism, I'm number one when it comes to it.
Are you allowed to go back to the Hard Rock?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I was there for the last fight.
Okay,
the last fight, the Hard Rock.
So looking at obviously your fighting career, what got you into fighting and BKFC? Were you in MMA at some point prior to that? It seems like a lot of guys are in MMA and then they move over to BKFC.
I've been fighting for 20 years, man. And that's training professionally. MMA, mixed martial arts, judo, jiu-jitsu, wrestling with Yoel Romero. I've been Yoel Romero's sparring partner for a long time. Before he got to the UFC and while he was in the UFC. A lot of mishaps, a lot of injuries. A lot of it takes years and a lot of grind, a lot of tests to become I would say a fighter. And even then, it's still hard to be a fighter. And when I got to BKFC, I had lost a lot of weight. You know what I'm saying? I lost a lot of weight, and I was itching. I was itching for competition. I wanted to compete in something. I wanted competition really bad. And I met a promoter, and he gave me a shot. He said, "All right, let's get it. Let's get going." And let's go. It's Merc season, and I was in the first BKFC prospect series, and the rest was history.
So you mentioned Yoel Romero just now that you train with him. The situation involving Blas, there's a situation with Yoel Romero going back to 2022, which is what I was talking about. There was an arrest record. Were you training with Yoel Romero back then? Were you aware of the situation with Yoel Romero and Alberto Blas?
In 2022, no, I wasn't training with Romero, and I didn't know anything. I didn't know. I'm not into nobody's business. I don't, what I'm saying? I really didn't know anything at all. And when they told me, I didn't want to know, because it didn't suit me. It wasn't gonna fix my situation. So that was really none of my business.
So you didn't find out even about the situation until after this incident?
Yeah, it's after. I didn't know about anything after.
Wow. Have you all talked about it since? I mean, now that you train with Romero at times?
No, I haven't.
Okay. So you fight at what, 185?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are there guys that you're looking at? Obviously, we're probably 9 months out now since shoulder takes time to heal. Are there guys that you look at that you want to take on that to get back when you get back into this thing?
I'm studying.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching a lot of film, a lot of boxing, a lot of bare knuckle fights. And I'm watching a lot of guys in my division. I'm watching because I made a mistake in my last fight. In my last fight, I was was kind of the first fight of the night. I was pressured into my hometown, and I didn't want to be that boring fight. So what happened was I was aggressive, and I threw my game plan out the window, and I got caught.
Mhm.
And it was a bitter taste in my mouth. So I've been studying film. I've been watching film. The angles, the technique that comes with the bare knuckle game. There's nobody in particular I want to call out or I want to fight, because I'm up and coming and lost my last fight. So whoever
Yeah.
comes in front of me, I have to train hard for it and fight hard for that fight, for that win.
How do you stay in shape at this point? I mean, shoulders obviously matter. I mean, what do you do? Bike work? I don't know what the hell can you actually do with one arm? And you have
You
to
know
figure it
what?
out, obviously, because otherwise, if you eat a whole, I mean, you're Hispanic. If you eat a whole lot of Hispanic, Latin food, you kind of get fat. I know I
um,
do. I mean, I'm Hispanic, so
Believe it or not, there's a lot of things. That first week of surgery sucks. Because
yeah,
you're swollen, you're full of like gases and liquid. So
yeah.
that first week, you kind of have to kind of like lay down because of the
Mhm.
anesthesia, the medication. But after that, man, I have a foam roller. I take this the sling off, put the foam roller in between my arm. I go for walking. You train your jaw, your lug trainer, your knuckles. You know what I'm saying? There's so many things to do to train the body, the mind. You read for the brain. That I don't have to use a shoulder. And I know I have a lot of time ahead of me, and I can use all of these tools that are they're in my hands that I can use.
Mhm.
Lung trainer, jaw trainer, mind trainer. I can go on walks, stairmaster. I can't
Mhm.
run right now, but I can still maintain a nice, good cardio with that.
Do you find yourself watching every card now, to studying other fighters, just in general, just looking at footwork, technique that the other fighters might do, where maybe you didn't do that prior to this injury, because now you have time to do all that. Like, you really have a lot of time to look at, stuff like this.
Of course. Fighters like HD, fighters like Baboon, fighters that they've had that experience in that ring. And Sambo. You know what I mean? Guys that can finish fights. I study these guys, man, and I don't come from that heavy background of fighting. I came from a heavy set background. I had a bad MMA career, and I lost the weight. And a lot of these guys been fighting since they were young. They
Mhm.
have that experience. They have that mentality where I'm learning it.
Mhm. What were you fighting at when you were fighting in MMA?
Heavyweight.
Heavyweight?
Heavyweight, man. The biggest mistake that I've ever done in my life was fight at a weight that I wasn't supposed to. And that's what I teach my amateur guys now. I'm like, listen, if you're not at the weight you're supposed to fight at, don't fight bigger guys. You're not supposed to. That's why there's weight divisions. Because you go in there, young kid, no guidance, and you get hurt. You get hurt and you get injured, and now it's a setback. Now you gotta make sure you're mentally prepared for that injury.
So you were how much did you weigh at your heaviest?
The heaviest, oh man,
Yeah.
355 pounds,
Oh, fuck.
borderline diabetic. I was in the hospital in and out every other day. If you see my medical chart,
My God.
um, yeah, man,
How
I really had
when was that? When was that?
to. After 2011, I got knocked out in
Uh-huh.
MMA. And I had fractured a L5 spine.
Okay.
I fractured my tibia, fractured my orbital bone, which I have a surgery under. And I broke my hand. And
In the
in
same fight.
the same fight, yeah, the same fight.
Holy shit.
And it was a hard comeback. I thought my career was over. It was I was like, wow, what did I do? I lost everything. I lost a lot of people too. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm not used to the whole cheerleading stuff for now. I'm not used to the whole group guys. I don't chill groups because back then I lost everybody, and I'm used to that now. Um, and yeah, man.
Grief.
I lost.
So how did what brought you to lose the weight? I mean, heck, we've seen the story of Tyson Fury, where he got to be 400 plus pounds and on drugs and alcohol and all kinds of shit, and then he decided he was going to lose the weight and get back into it, and he becomes a champion again. What got you? What switched? When did it happen for you? Where it's like, yo, I just
Man,
can't do this.
addiction. addiction, mental depression, a bad relationship, with the mother of my son, seeing my kids grow up in that environment alone was like, I got to make a change because I grew up fucked up. I grew up traumatized. I grew up with a lot of child trauma, and I'm not trying to pass that down to my kids. So I had to make a big change, and it was 2019. I had to break that home up, and cops were called, and I had to involve the courts and all that, and I had to put in myself in a darker place, and withdraw myself from alcohol, withdraw myself from weed, from drugs, from the night lifestyle, from the bad lifestyle, and just pretty much say, okay, well, do I want to be here short term or long term? Because I have an 8-year-old boy and I have a 19-year-old daughter, and my daughter doesn't have nobody behind her. She has no family, so I have to be here for her. And my son, he has his mother, but I'm his father, and it's important for a son to have a father in his life.
Yeah, of course. And you dropped, God, 150 pounds.
Yeah, yeah.
How do you feel physically now from comparison to then? Like the physical, just how you feel as a beyond obviously the shoulder injury right now. But how do you feel physically? I mean, now
I feel brand new. To tell you the truth, so I have spinal surgery and they fixed my back. I don't have no back pain. They fixed my shoulder. They gave me my jab back, and I hope these motherfuckers are aware that at 185 I'm just studying, and when I come back, I'm gonna knock a lot of these motherfuckers out with my jab. Because they gave my jab back. I was fighting with one arm, so I'm here. I'm here to stay. And wherever I'm at, wherever I go, I'm gonna make noise.
You mentioned Zombo. You watch him fight. This guy's like 5'10", 5'11". He's not huge, but yet he's so thick. And his bones must be like trees underneath that skin, man. Because I mean, he hits people so hard, and they go to sleep so fast. I mean, you watch a guy like that.
Yeah, he was
how
my
crazy.
Partner. We trained together at the same gym. We had the same trainers for a while, and I'm telling you right now, man, the guy is a freak of nature. He's one of those one of a kind that you know what I mean. It's like where you come from, bro. Like whoa, but yeah, he definitely has a big future ahead of him because there's nobody that's gonna stop Sambo. Like literally, no one's built for him.
Have you sparred with him? Did you spar with him a lot? Is he a guy that he has to hold off on? He has to hold punches because like almost like WWE. You're like holding because if he's hitting guys in training, the way he's hitting guys in the freaking ring, you're gonna.
No, he holds back. He holds back. He holds back. He even shows his face expression. He's like, he just holds back because again, a guy of that caliber with that much experience is just dangerous, man, and he knows what he's capable of.
What's worse to get hit by him in the stomach or in the face?
Oh man, the body shots, man. Come on, the body shots from him. It's like getting hit in the nuts. You gotta go down, like, oh, we're done. He's a monster.
No, because he headlines next week. Is the main event next week, and I mean, what are your thoughts of that fight? With that fight.
I love it. Everybody's been talking shit that he hasn't fought nobody. He fought a world champion boxer in the last guy.
Fight. Yeah.
This guy who had experience, and he laid him out in less than a minute. He's fought a couple guys. The Brazilian guy was a tough MMA fighter. Put him down with a body shot. And now they're testing him with Arnold Adams, a former BKFC world champion. And I think that this is another easy fight for Sambo. This is not gonna go past the first round.
Heck, his fights don't usually go past like 65 seconds.
Yeah, the longest fight he had was with Leo Berser. And he was getting flagged all over the ring.
When he does this thing where what is he actually doing? Like what is he saying there? Do you know what that specifically is?
It's time.
Okay.
It's time. Everybody been sleeping on him. It's time. Time to eat, man. Let me eat.
No, I don't know if you saw the press conference when the last one, if you saw it on TV or whatever, if you saw a video of it, when he says, Ben Rothwell, I'm gonna come to your house and kill you in your kitchen.
Tell me that ain't intimidating. Tell me that ain't intimidating.
I was in the room and my skin like that gave me goosebumps. And he's looking in the camera, just like And you're like, yo,
I do
I
think
don't.
BKFC needs to promote him more. I think that is the BKFC's main attraction, is a guy that says, I'm going to knock you out in less than a minute, and he's had 7 fights and he's done that. That's an attraction right there. You know what I mean?
It's insane just watching that guy in action. Yeah, so it's
It is.
interesting that
It is.
you
And
train with.
everybody wants to see that. Everybody wants to like, oh, you know what? I want to see that because I want to see somebody get knocked out because he says so.
No, and you know, when you look at it from either perspective, whether you like him or you don't like him, it doesn't matter. Like you want to see this. This guy has sickening power, explosion that you've not seen. The explosion is what's so crazy because I know I've talked to people that like he could fight at 205 if he really wanted to, but he doesn't want. Obviously, he doesn't want to put down the Cuban food, which I mean, I don't blame him. You know, if you can knock people out at who are 265 pounds. Why I'll put it down. I mean, it kind of reminds me of Daniel Cormier. He's like he should never have left heavyweight. When he went to fight at 205, he looked anorexic. But no, it's just if you see, you're almost waiting to see it. Can someone take him further? You know, if they stay standing, what happens? And I guess that's always the question in BKFC because you know fights can end so fast. But if you go 3, 4, 5 rounds, will we see differences? Is that something that you look at when you watch fighters, or even a fighter like him?
No, I'm definitely not an explosive fight like that, man. I like to feel the fight out. I like to pick you apart. You know, I don't know if you saw my first fight with Drew Nolan. That was my game plan. My game plan was to go in there and just box him out. You know, kind of just pick him apart, hit him with the jabs. You know, with the angles and stuff like that. That's my game plan. Now. When I trained with Sambo, I came out and I finished the guy in 28 seconds. You know what I'm saying? You know, that was just a style that we were training, you know?
Yeah.
It was just to go out there and finish the fight fast. Now, I didn't knock him out cold like Sambo did, but I was on him, pressured, you know, didn't let him breathe. And from that, the guy, he said, I'm done. So
do you see different? I mean, when you're watching BKFC comparison, you're in MMA. The differences and like you have to, if you're moving backward in BKFC, you're in trouble typically. Like that's not a good thing typically to be backing up in BKFC.
It all depends. It all depends, man. It all depends because look, I moved forward with David Simpson, you know, and David Simpson caught me. You know what I'm saying? He had enough experience in BKFC to be like, if he's coming in, I'm gonna have a switch up in and hit him. And he coming with a simple jab, a simple open half jab. I don't even call it a full jab. So he caught me with a simple jab and those jabs because I led with my face. I was aggressive, you know. And sometimes look at the champ now at 185. Look what he did to Richmond. He just stayed back there and every time Richmond was coming in, he picked him out, you know. He was countering him. So sometimes in these fights, you gotta sit back and wait for the fight to come to you. You know, if you go to fight, you're gonna get caught.
Yeah, Dyer said that he doesn't typically fight that way, and he had to change his entire game plan because they came into his locker room saying, "We don't want to have you ragdolling people out there and having no contest."
Richmond's an animal, you know what I'm saying?
No, he's crazy.
Richmond's an animal, but he had to fight like that. And sometimes you have to realize you can't be out there aggressively fighting, man, because it's bare knuckle. You get caught with one of these fists, it feels like they threw a rock in your face, you know, and you're like, "What the hell?" It'll break your face. You know what I'm saying? It'll change the aspect of the fight.
Yeah, but man, I appreciate you jumping on with me this evening. You know, I wanted to hear your side because I remember standing right there like, what the fuck is going on? We're at a BKFC fight. This man just defended his championship, and he's getting into a fight, almost like a gang fight. You know, 5-on-1 type shit.
The last thing about that.
Yeah.
Again, he passed through the locker room. I went to congratulate him. He didn't want to say congratulate me. Okay, that's fine. I as you can see, I look confused. But then when I saw the podcaster recording with his phone, in my head, I automatically said, let me try to see if I can sell a fight. It's my time to put work on the map. I said what I had to say. You know what I'm saying? I can say whatever I want to say. That's the point. And they're the ones that lost their cool and did what they had to do, you know?
But I just wanted to have you give you that opportunity to speak your piece, you know, because that's what we all deserve, that opportunity to speak our piece.
We all make mistakes though, man. You know what I'm saying? We all got to move on, baby.
Yeah. But I appreciate you jumping on board. Anything else for your fan base? You know, thoughts or comments for the future for you?
Stick with me, man. You know, a lot of people are trying to doubt me. A lot of people trying to bury my name. They're trying to throw dirt on me. You know, Let's not follow into none of that. Let's stay professional. And when I do come back around, it's gonna be like Shark Week. You know what I'm saying? That whole 5 weeks is gonna be like Shark Week, man. It's gonna be Merc season. I'm telling you right now.
All right, man. Folks, this is Rudy Rodriguez Show Mott here, Combat Corner with Markus Suarez. Man, I appreciate you jumping on board. I'm going to link your social media in the description. And, man, keep us posted on how you're doing, brother. I appreciate you so very much.
Thank you
This
for having
is
me, mother.
Combat Corner, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. Come on now.
Up and down through the blood and the sweat. Guarantee you can know I'm a threat. Up and down through the blood and the sweat. And I ain't close to being done yet, I'm going on.